Hi friends, my name is Nikhil Asha and you're watching Nav Chetna. In this video, we are going to learn the past continuous tense, the past perfect tense and the past perfect continuous tense. I've already made videos on all forms of the present tense and the simple past tense. If you missed those videos, you could find them by clicking on the link above. I'm sure you are ready to dig into the details about the past continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Let's start with the past continuous tense. The past continuous is made from the past tense of the verb be and the ing form of a verb. We use it to talk about the past. Let's see some examples. I was working, you were playing, he was living, she was talking, they were singing. Let's learn the usage of the past continuous tense now. We use the past continuous tense for something which happened before and after another action. Let's see some examples. My son was doing his homework when I got home. Here, my son did his homework when I got home. He was doing his homework before I got home and he kept on doing his homework after I got home. This use of the past tense is very common at the beginning of a story. Let's see some examples. The other day I was waiting for the bus when I met Rohit. Last week, as I was driving home, I met with an accident. We use the past continuous tense for something that happened before and after a specific time. For example, it was 8 o'clock, I was writing a letter. Here the sentence means I started writing a letter before 8 o'clock and I was still writing it at 8 o'clock. We use the past continuous tense to show that something continued for some time. Let's see some examples. My head was aching. Everyone was shouting. We use the past continuous tense to show that something happened again and again. Let's see some examples. I was practicing every day, 3 times a day. They were always quarreling. We use the past continuous tense with verbs which show change or growth. Let's see some examples. The children were growing up quickly. Her English was improving. My hair was growing grey. The town was changing quickly. We do not normally use the past continuous with stative verbs. We use the past simple instead. Verbs which speaks about state rather than action like agree, believe, doubt, like, dislike, fear, hear, feel, belong, own, etc. These are stative verbs. Let's see some examples. When I got home, I really needed a shower. We have not used was needing. Instead, we used needed. We use the past continuous tense to talk about wishes for the present. For example, these seats are very comfortable. I wish we were traveling first class. We are done with the past continuous tense. Let's learn the past perfect tense now. The past perfect is made from the verb had and past participle of a verb. Let's see some examples to make it more clear. I had finished the work. She had gone. Let's learn the uses now. We use the past perfect tense for something that started in the past and continued up to a given time in the past. For example, she didn't want to move. She had lived in Mumbai all her life. He didn't want to quit the job. He had worked there for 10 years. We use the past perfect tense for something that happened several times before a point in the past and continued after that point. Let's see some examples. He had worked in 5 movies and he was signing another one. He had written 3 books and he was working on another one. We use the past perfect tense when we are reporting our experience up to a point in the past. Let's see some examples. My 18th birthday was the worst day I had ever had. I was pleased to meet Pooja. I hadn't met her before, even though I had met her brother several times. We use past perfect tense for something that happened in the past and is important at a later time in the past. Let's see some examples. I couldn't get into the house. I had lost my keys. Teresa wasn't at home. She'd gone shopping. We often use expressions with for and since with the past perfect. Let's see some examples. I was sorry when the factory closed. I had worked there for 10 years. I had been watching that program every week since it started, but I missed the last episode. We normally use past perfect tense with stative verbs instead of past perfect continuous. For example, up until that moment, I'd never believed in astrology. Here we have not used been believing, as you can see in the example. We have used never believed. We use the past perfect to talk about wishes for the past. Let's see some examples. I wish I had worked harder when I was at school. Mary wishes she had listened to what her mother told her. I wish I hadn't spent so much money last month. We use the past perfect tense to talk about things in the past which did not happen. For example, suppose you hadn't passed your exams. What would you have done? What if he had lost his job? What would his wife have said? We've finished past perfect tense. Let's learn past perfect continuous tense now. The past perfect continuous is made from had been and the ing form of a verb. We use since for a definite period of time and for an indefinite period of time. Let's see some examples. I had been working there for a year. They had been painting the bedroom since morning. We use the past perfect continuous tense for something that started in the past and continued up to a given time in the past. For example, when Mayank died, he and Kamla had been married for nearly 50 years. Everything was wet. It had been raining for hours. We use past perfect continuous tense for something that happened several times before a point in the past and continued after that point. Let's see some examples. He was a wonderful guitarist. He had been playing ever since he was a teenager. He had been living in Mumbai ever since he was a child. That's all for this video, friends. We've finished the past tense. Thank you for watching.